Common Council meeting for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Has appropriate meeting notification been made?
Yes, Your Honor, it has.
And would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think it's appropriate before a roll call that we just take a few moments of silence. There's a lot of things going on in this world, a lot of horrible things, a lot of wars, things going on. Let's just take a moment of silence for all those people that are affected. Thank you. Would you call roll, please?
Alderman Mulder.
Here.
Alderman Shellpepper.
Here.
Alderman Maroney.
Here.
Alderman Douglas.
Here.
Alderman Rozak.
Here.
Alderman Altman-Kloth. Here. Alderman Ellis.
Here.
Alderman Spiegelberg.
Here.
Next on our agenda is the public hearings. We have two public hearings today. If you wish to talk during the public hearing, there are blue cards right at the podium, and we'll call you up, and please share your comments with our council today. The first one up is the Olympia Plan Development Rezoning. The purpose is to hear comment on the rezoning of 2.37 acres from RMH, that's residential multi-high unit, to RMH with a planned development overlay located at 1350 Kari Court for the Lachlan Apartments development. The parcels are identified as lot number 1 and lot number 2 on the CSM provided. And they have yet to be approved and recorded. The lands are located on the northeast and northwest corners of the extensions of Paps Roads and Kari Court. The request is to rezone the parcels to maintain the underlying zoning district, but add the lands to the adjacent planned development overlay district known as PD 2-21, approved by the city on September 21st, 2021. The purpose of the PD overlay our request is to allow the construction of 2 additional 23 residential unit buildings for a total of 46 new apartment units. Mr. Gallo.
Thank you, Mayor. You really did a nice job introducing it, very comprehensive, but I'll show a few slides so the audience can understand visually what the request is for. Again, it's for a planned development amendment of a plan development, which is a zoning overlay district that we previously approved, and they would like to geographically make the site bigger and then add 2 more apartment buildings. So the site is, you described it, another address is 1350 Kari Court. It's shown in the blue highlighted area. You can see there's some apartments already being constructed. This was the planned development overlay area that was previously approved, and they would like to add the blue area. As you mentioned, in September of 21, we did approve various things. We approved the keyhole zoning back here that's called the theater site. We rezoned that to the RMH. That's the residential multi-unit high. It's our highest density district. And then in October of 23, when different properties adjacent to it were transferred ownership to a new party, they came in and rezoned the whole area, and this was shown on their area as RMH as well. So the underlying zoning is RMH. It matches what we did up here as well. So why is a planned development needed? What are they asking for? Well, the density is to exceed 12 units per acre. That's a zoning flexibility that they need. Parking, we waived the parking requirements. It still is to be constructed per the site plan with the number of parking stalls and everything, but overall the parking requirements have been waived. They did set up the number of stalls for how many they need historically. The building setbacks were waived and the pavement setbacks were waived. These are the same exemptions that you previously approved as PD 2 of 21. So they're adding 1.1 acres to the site. The The site area increases up to 17.1 acres. Right now, it's 16. The zoning was approved to RMH for this area, the 1.1 acres. It was approved in 2023. The unit count goes from 178 up to 224. They're adding 46 additional units. And then the site density increases from 11 dwelling units per acre to 13. This is their site plan that they submitted. You can see the yellow buildings that I highlighted there are the two new ones that are being proposed. This roadway here, the street, is the extension of Pabst Road, and that's not in. That's going to be built by another party, and that will be going in to serve that. On their site plan, they showed 3 access points. I've highlighted them in red there. The Plan Commission discussed these at length, and they were not in favor of the west access point, so they asked them to close this. There's just too much access in one spot. So in your packet, you have a revised plan that shows the west access point closed. So we did look at the location of the buildings, the access, that type of thing. That's closed up. I just wanted to include an aerial photo, even though it's an old photo that they, with their initial application. I just wanted you to see how this is going to lay out with all the other buildings. They're generally the same size. The orientation for this side is all that, and then this was a north-south. There was a vision corner that we discussed. I certainly want to make sure those vision corners are preserved. These are 2 minor streets. These are not arterial streets. They are having a 45 by 45 foot vision corner here, which well exceeds the 15 by 15 for minor streets. There was a monument sign shown on this side, and we are having them move that sign over here. You can see this is an outdoor patio, and on the next slide, it's moved. Monument sign to be located right in line with that patio. So this was an updated site plan I received on October 12th. So they're removing that. The Plan Commission did ask for that as well. This is showing the 50 by 50 vision corner, so it'll be outside of that. They did provide a landscaping plan. All the plantings will be very similar to what they currently have out there. Architectural design, the Architectural Commission waived their review requirements as long as it's consistent with their existing buildings. They put that on staff to make sure that it complies with the design standards out there. Now, there was concerns raised initially when the vacation was initially brought to the council of, hey, did we ever see these before? The answer is they did not feel appropriate to put them on site plans because they were negotiating with another party to buy this land. But they did have conceptual drawings. This one dates back to 2021, and it shows the 2 buildings in that area right there. So this goes way back. We knew that this was set up for this. We knew that Pabst Road would be extended in this general area, and that Kari Court would be extended north-south. This was set up as a temporary roadway. So you can see it said future 23-unit buildings. There was 2 of them, both in the same configuration exactly from 2021. Then again, earlier in January of 23, this was another proposal we saw for the adjacent property dated January of 2023. It showed some buildings there. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. I've enlarged it so you can see. Again, in January, you've seen this plan, and it was on there. So really, I've done my best to show you that there's history of these buildings being there. A couple other things. They are going to have to build these buildings. They're going to have to close the Kari Court to the residents that currently live there, and they're going to utilize this blue area that I highlighted as their access. And when we reviewed that as a staff level, we said, you know what, this roadway is going to need snow removal we don't want to be bringing plow trucks through here. So one of the conditions that the Plan Commission recommended is that Vanguard take over snow removal and maintenance during, while these gates are up, these construction gates. There's going to be one here and one here. So the recommendation is to approve the plan development amendment, the ordinance, and potentially waive the second reading. It is an ordinance. There was 2 conditions added since the Plan Commission meeting. They're in your packet. One was the access. They'll have a total of 2 access points from Pabst Road, and the westernmost access shall be removed from the GDP. That's already been done, and the plan is in your packet. And then snow removal, number 14, we added that. I just wrote applicant shall be responsible for all snow removal and other required maintenance to Kari Court while the street is blocked off to public access from Pabst Road.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Do we have any comments from our audience? Does anyone have any comments at this public hearing? I don't have any blue cards, but we have the applicant here.
Good
If
evening,
you'd
Mayor.
identify yourself for the audience, please.
Mark Lake from Vanguard Partners. I'm here to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time for the public hearing? Seeing no comment, we'll close this part of the public hearing for the Olympia planned development rezoning, and we'll move on to our second public hearing, the partial vacation of Kari Court. The purpose of the is to hear public comment on the proposed partial vacation of Kari Court, which is being requested so the street can be relocated to better align with the future extension of Pabst Road. If the vacation is approved, the intent is that 2 additional apartment buildings will be constructed, which would be part of the Laughlin Apartments development. Council may, but is not required, to consider the act on the resolution that's later in today's meeting here on the 17th of October, 2023. Mr. Gallo.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a street vacation. It does require a public hearing. We did the initial resolution to you approximately 40 days ago. And by state statute, we have to then take it back to the Plan Commission, who made a recommendation, and hold a public hearing in order to legally vacate a public street. They're asking to vacate a portion of Kari Court, which is 19,547 square feet. They have an exhibit shown in your packet. It says this is the area to be vacated. The resolution is in your packet, and the overall plan, we just discussed it, is to construct 2 additional buildings. You can see the vacation of Kari Court goes right through the building. They would need to vacate the street and then do this. It should be known that there is a certified survey map that is on the agenda that will be dedicating this area for the extension of Kari Court as a public street. So I think we're taken care of, but this is something that has to happen in order for these buildings to go up. Thank you.
Do we have any public comment from anyone in the audience for this public hearing? With no public comments at this public hearing, I'd like to close the public hearing for the partial vacation of Kari Court. We'll move on. I'd like to entertain a motion for approval of minutes, agenda minutes from October 3rd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On to comments and suggestions from citizens. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment to the council on any topic? Again, we have the blue cards in the back if anybody would like to make a comment. With no blue cards and comments, we'll move on to our consent agenda items. I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. On to our committee business. We're going to start with Public Services. Consider act on Resolution 23-R3154, awarding the contract to upgrade the Oconomowoc Parkway Sanitary Sewer Relay. Mr. Herzog.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So as you're aware, The city has intents on improving the sanitary sewer along Oconomowoc Parkway. This is the construction component of that. Bids were, the construction was advertised and the bids were received. It was our low bid of just under 1.9 million with Dorner Construction. The budget for the construction was about 2.2 million, so we were under that, and now requesting approval for this work to proceed as stated here with a 10% contingency, and the motion to approve the resolution.
Council members, do you have any questions, comments for Mr. Herzog? Alderman Ellis.
Yeah, I have no problem with awarding the contract. The only concern that I have is that there's nothing in there that says not to exceed. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to, when that time does come, put that language in there. Why? Because in the past, when that language has not existed, it gives people the ability to find other little extra things that they can go ahead and add on, and then before you know it, you don't have a 1.8 or $108,000 project, you've got a $2 million project, and they say, well, it is what it is. When they're not to exceed, they have to come back in front of us, and at that point in time, they have to show why that stuff is important. So I'd really like to see that as not to exceed. I know that in the next one, there is that not to exceed. So we should just be straight across the board and just put it there.
I just want to state that the resolution does include the statement that if there are any expenditures exceeding the 10%, that council does need to be recognized and approved with this construction component. The next item that we'll go over is a design, and that's a professional services, so a slightly different element. But if the wording needs to change, please make the motion.
Yeah,
Alderman Rozak?
So this is a unit price contract with estimated quantities, and therefore the final contract price can change, right?
Correct.
I still recall that we liked that language in there. I think the language in the earlier one is probably fine. What we could do is just simply add in that this is a not to exceed project cost with the 10% contingency and just switch that language around.
And I think our purchasing policy also states the same thing.
That was our intent.
So I'd like to entertain a motion, and if you want to bring forth that change, the time would be good to do that now.
So moved?
I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we put the not to exceed language in the contract so that we don't exceed that cost.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussions or comments? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder?
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper?
Aye.
Alderman Maroney?
Aye.
Alderman Douglas?
Aye.
Alderman Rozak?
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth?
Aye.
Alderman Ellis?
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg.
Aye.
Under our next item, consider act on Resolution 23-R3152, awarding design engineering contract for 2024 streets program and infrastructure improvements and associated budget amendment. Mr. Herzog.
So this is our professional services to act on our streets and design for the 2024 work, and that also includes our utility improvements, water main and sewer, to be included in that. They were advertised to all local firms, and we received 3 bids back. The top 2 ranked very high with Grafe and Ayers. Ayers was the lower consultant and did our 2023 work. We are recommending Ayers at this time to continue to provide this service. And the accounts are broken down. There is one component of this that does need action, as the streets component for funding this work has a budget of $57,200 in it. Asking to amend that budget and adjust it to the appropriate funds listed here by transferring additional funds from the street account into the design account. So we have a street account that allows for our construction and our construction management that we will use and move this money to our design professional services.
Questions, comments from council?
So moved as presented.
Second.
Any further discussions or comments?
Can I just weigh in?
Yes,
I have to
please.
sign these contracts, approve as to form. So on the previous one and on this one, everybody recognizes that if I find something that is not kosher, I will
Bring it
weigh
back.
in. No, you approve it subject to the approval of the city attorney, because that's my job. Okay?
So the initial motion, both of these are, it's fine to, per subject to council approval. So we have a motion and a second. Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder?
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper?
Aye.
Alderman Maroney?
Aye.
Alderman Douglas?
Aye.
Alderman Rozak?
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth?
Aye.
Alderman Ellis?
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg?
Aye.
On to a utility committee.
Was that your way of assuring us, Attorney Riffle, that the not to exceed is?
Oh, that's a given,
within
yes.
there, okay.
But statutorily, both the finance director and I have to sign these contracts, and we're not going to sign them unless they are in accord with your ordinances, your direction, and the law. So, and everybody understands that, including your,
Legally valid and enforceable.
exactly.
On to the utility committee. Consider act on hiring a utility locating system maintenance and fleet assistant position in 2023.
Thank you, Mayor. So in August, the Personnel Committee approved for 2024 adding an employee that would be part-time locating, part-time fleet maintenance, and part-time system maintenance for the utilities. Our full-time locator has had to take a extended leave of absence, so we're asking to be able to hire that person in 2023 to finish out the year. We do have the money for it from unused utility manager dollars.
Questions, comments for Mr. Fry?
So moved as presented.
Second.
Any further comments or questions? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder?
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper?
Aye.
Alderman Maroney?
Aye.
Alderman Douglas?
Aye.
Alderman Rozak?
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth?
Aye.
Alderman Ellis?
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg?
Aye.
On to Plan Commission items, consider act on ordinance 23-01054, amending ordinance 21-01018, creating a planned development overlay for Olympia Fields located at 1350 Curry Court. Council, this is your first reading.
We held a public hearing on this item earlier. I went through the presentation. If there's any questions, I am available.
Questions, comments? Alderman Rozak.
Yeah, that was one of the I'm glad you brought up some of the kind of proposals back when we first started discussing the project, because that was in my notes, that there was early contemplation of having the additional buildings, but there was issues with regard to the easements there and the ownership that were, I guess, unresolved at the time we approved the other buildings. And so I think there was discussion pretty much at length about where we would go with these. So I think this makes a lot of sense. It's a continuation of that project and a completion of it. So I'm in favor of it.
Attorney Riffle.
We have a cart and horse situation here. You could not approve this overlay unless you vacate Cary Court. So I would, if you're going to approve this and waive the second reading, I would suggest that you do so conditioned upon your vacation of Cary Court.
Because of it's
With-
not in the agenda, okay.
It's not in the right order.
Can-
So what I would,
No, it's.
so I would
it's okay.
suggest,
It's
without,
okay.
without objection,
Yeah.
council, can we address item 9B of the vacation of Curry Court first, and then come back to A? Does anybody have a conflict with that?
No, because that's under the assumption that we're going to go ahead and vote okay with the first.
No, it's not.
Well, if you vacate Cary Court, the assumption there is that we're going to approve the first.
They can't do the plan development overlay unless they vacate Cary Court.
We have to do this B first.
Yeah.
Well, you can do it conditioned upon the vacation of Cary Court. But I will remind every one of you that Cary Court was a temporary
road.
thing to get traffic up to the north there. But it's up to you.
So council, are you comfortable going to 9B?
Yes.
And if not, we'll do it the other way. Without hearing a firm objection, let's consider act on Resolution 23-R3119, vacating a portion of Kari Court, 19,547 square feet within the Olympia Fields development. Mr. Gallo.
We held a public hearing for this as well earlier this evening. Sorry for the confusion on the order, but I thought it would be good to see the overall picture first. Otherwise, you wouldn't really understand what this is, or the audience, what this is for. But again, this is the vacation. There's a process per state statutes where we introduced this 40 days ago. We took it to Plan Commission. They did recommend approval. We have a resolution in your packet, and this is to vacate that 19,000 square feet of area.
Okay. Questions, comments for Mr. Gallo?
So moved, Rozak.
Second.
Any further discussions or comments? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder?
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper?
Aye.
Alderman Maroney?
Aye.
Alderman Douglas?
Aye.
Alderman Rozak?
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth?
Aye.
Alderman Ellis?
Nay.
Back to,
Alderman Spiegelberg?
Aye.
back to item 9A, consider act on the ordinance 23-01054, amending ordinance 21-01018, creating the planned development overlay for the Olympia Fields located at 1350 Kari Court, and this is your first reading.
What I did was I took the ordinance that we previously adopted in 2021, and I blacklined it to update it to add these two additional buildings. And then on your copy, you should have additionals 13 and 14 conditions that talk about that access point and the snow removal.
Comments for Mr. Gallo? Alderman Ellis.
I still don't remember looking back, seeing those two buildings there. And I truly believe that this is kind of a way of, the project's been approved and we want to eventually go ahead and ask them for more spaces for buildings. So let's go ahead and do it as soon as we get to a point where they can say no, where they can't say no. And I got a problem. I don't remember this. And
Right,
I've
this
been
one
here a
in
minute.
2021, they did not share with you because they were negotiating with another party. And they didn't want to show their hand of what they could do there. So they did not show this, but you did see this in January of 23, this red circle down here. So we're now in October, I mean, that's 9-10 months ago that, you know, they did show this. And at that time, they had an agreement reached with Newman Development. that
Those
they
blue
would-
marks were not there.
What's it?
Those blue marks that you have
Yeah,
were not there.
Yeah, they were.
Yes.
I took it right off
Then it's
my copy that
I
I
believe
had.
Newman even said they were in talks with Vanguard to sell that property to them when they were
Wanted
here
to
at
sell it
council.
to them.
Yeah, that's the stuff that's north of
piece of
Paps
land.
Road that they never had. I mean, we can say no.
I mean, you can say no, whatever you want to do in voting,
Right,
but
I
they were there.
understand. I'm just trying to get this straight in my mind here.
Any other comments or questions from council?
Make the motion to approve as presented, waiving the second reading.
Second.
Any other comments? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder?
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper?
Aye.
Alderman Maroney?
Aye.
Alderman Douglas?
Aye.
Alderman Rozak?
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth?
Aye.
Alderman Ellis?
Nay.
Alderman Spiegelberg?
Aye.
Next up, consider act on the certified survey map for the Lackawanna Park Apartments located at 1350 Kari Court.
The next item, we did receive a certified survey map, and this is the final piece of that puzzle. takes those pieces of land and adds it to the parcel. It creates lots number 296 and 297 of the, well, what I'm showing you here is the old Highlander preliminary plat. Those lots were created, and then now they're taking that land and they're transferring it to their existing parcel to create Lot 1 and 2. And then the red area on the screen is dedicated for public street purposes. There's a D in there, and that's dedicated for public street. So these are the two lots that those buildings that we just discussed will go into. They also have an exhibit in that CSM of the vacated Kari Court area. So the Plan Commission did review this. Staff also reviewed it for technical review. And Plan Commission did recommend approval of the CSM for the Lachlan Apartments.
Questions, comments for Mr. Gallo? Also, the applicant is here if you have questions for them. Like to entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any further comments? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder.
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper.
Aye.
Alderman Maroney.
Aye.
Alderman Douglas.
Aye.
Alderman Rozak.
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth.
Aye.
Alderman Ellis.
Nay.
Alderman Spiegelberg.
Aye.
On to unfinished or old business, consider act on ordinance 23-1052 to repeal and recreate section 9.23 fair housing. This is the second reading. Attorney Riffle?
So we were here the first time to completely eliminate this provision under the premise that state law has covered this. There's a global change in the state law between the time that the original Fair Housing Act was promulgated in the state of Wisconsin back in the late 60s and in the early 2000s when the old law was replaced with 106.50 of Wisconsin statutes, which is a much more comprehensive way of handling fair housing, and also places all enforcement in the hands of the state of Wisconsin, as opposed to your ordinance that currently has me doing that, which I don't want to do. Rather than just completely eliminate it, I believe there was feedback from certain council members that the preferable way to go would be to pay homage to the fact that we agree with fair housing provisions of the law and simply get rid of our old ordinance and adopt the state statute 106.50 as part of our ordinance, which you could go to the statute and that's how it'll be handled. So I realize and recognize that this is the second reading of a ordinance that was going to eliminate it. I personally felt that this is a perfectly reasonable way to deal with the second reading because that was the direction that council wanted to go. So there you go.
Questions, comments from council for Attorney Riffle?
Thanks, Chaz, for bringing this to our attention.
Yep, thanks to my constituents who brought it to my attention. John Harris.
Oh, nice, okay.
Like to entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Further discussion? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder.
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper.
Aye.
Alderman Maroney.
Aye.
Alderman Douglas.
Aye.
Alderman Rozak.
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth.
Aye.
Alderman Ellis.
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg.
Aye.
On in new business, consider act on resolution 23-R3155, providing for the sale of approximately $6,615,000 general obligation promissory notes, series 2023A. So we have our guest and our advisor from Ehlers. If you could please introduce yourself to the public.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. My name is Greg Johnson from Ehlers. I'll be here to provide an overview of the pre-sale report that accompanies the resolution that is on your agenda. The purpose of these promissory notes is twofold. It is financing sewer improvements for the Economwalk Parkway extension, and second, it is financing infrastructure projects located within Tax Incremental District Number 7. The sewer improvements for Oconomowoc Parkway, the debt service for the notes for that portion of the project will be repaid entirely by sewer revenues, and the portion of the debt service attributable to the TID 7 projects will be paid entirely from TID 7 revenues. So there's no levy impact on these proposed notes because both of those two revenue sources will be available to cover the full debt service. I'll briefly summarize a few of the tables that are included in our pre-sale report that follow the narrative. Table 1 is just a summary of your existing general obligation debt, shows your gross principal and interest payments, and then the revenue sources of the city budgets to offset some of those payments from the water, sewer, electric, and TID 7. So that net tax levy shows what you're presently levying for debt service. That will remain unchanged as a part of this note issue, since the notes will be repaid by sewer and TID 7 revenues. Table 2 shows the breakdown of the notes in terms of what is for TID 7 and what is for the sewer projects. $3,660,000 is for TID 7, $2,955,000 is for the sewer improvements, so that's the combined amount of $6,615,000. In terms of the city's general obligation borrowing capacity, this is general obligation debt, so it counts towards the city's debt limit. That is summarized on Table 5. At the end of 2023, the city with these notes will be at 24% of your debt limit, which is the same point you were at the end of fiscal year 2022. So really no change in the utilization of your debt limit. By the end of this fiscal year, you'll still have borrowing capacity of over $149 million, so more than adequate capacity. For illustration purposes, we included a multi-year financing plan that looked at the impact of financing street improvement projects from 2025 through 2034, about $2 million per year, and then gradually increasing throughout the planning period. And after Table 6, we just show the impact on the proposed debt service levy. That's just for illustration purposes. We like to look at debt issuance in a multi-year context. That would have a potential impact on your debt service levy if that is financed in future years. But again, these projects will be fully covered by sewer and TID 7 revenues. So the action item on your agenda is the initial resolution to proceed with the issuance of the $6,615,000. This is the starting point in the debt issuance process. We'll be conducting the sale in about a month and coming back and presenting the sale results to you for award and consideration. So that's the overview of the promissory notes. I'll be happy to entertain any questions. Thank you.
Council members, do you have any questions?
Rates are going up?
Rates have been trending up the past several weeks. This past week, we've seen a slight dip in rates, but rates have been trending upward. But we've factored that into the interest rate estimates that we've used in our analysis.
Because we were high as 4.2% back in November of last year. It took a pretty good dip here.
Yeah, it took a big dip, and then it's kind of been rising steadily, really, from kind of mid to late September until really up until this past week.
Thanks.
I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Rozak, second.
Any further questions, comments? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder.
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper.
Aye.
Alderman Maroney.
Aye.
Alderman Douglas.
Aye.
Alderman Rozak.
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth.
Aye.
Alderman Ellis.
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg.
Aye.
Now on to something a little bit more fun. Thank you. Consider act on resolution.
That's, Mayor, promissory notes are a blast. I mean, come on.
Consider act on resolution 23-R3153, approving construction contract and budget amendment for the Oconomowoc Rotary Splashboard. Mr. Betcher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm here tonight to present a resolution for the approval of the Oconomowoc Rotary Splash Pad project. As you guys are aware, this started back in February of 2022 with planning. Throughout that process, the Oconomowoc Rotary Splash Pad Committee has raised over $281,000 in fundraising dollars, along with $121,000 in in-kind donations. In order to get this splash pad built for this next spring, we want to start construction this fall in October. And in order to do that, we need approval of Phase 1. The committee is also asking for an additional contribution of $75,000 from the general fund contingency to provide for this project. The remaining costs of this project will be covered by the Rotary Splash Pad Committee. So with that, I am asking you guys to approve the resolution R3153, approving the construction contract and budget amendment for the Oconomowoc Rotary Splash Pad.
Just for clarification, Mr. Fry?
So, everybody knows that we had $5,000 in the budget, and that was in the capital in 2024, and it was reserves. So in order to bring this project forward this year with the contingency, we're recommending the entire $80,000 come out of the contingency in 2023. So that's what's in the resolution tonight. We had started out talking 5 and 75.
What do we do with the 5? Do we need to add something to the resolution, removing the 5,000 from the
So
capital budget?
that was just coming from reserves, so
Oh,
it's,
just nix it. Okay, fair.
Good. Questions, comments?
As
Like
far
in-
as Phase 2 is concerned, it's stating here that they need an additional 40,000. Where's that coming from?
So for Phase 1, it was broken down to have a splash pad that is completely ready to go for the spring of 2024. Phase 2 will go along as they raise the funds to buy more features. So as they raise the funding for the additional features, those can be added at a later date. So this project, Phase 1, is just to be able to build a splash pad and allow them to have that flexibility to add more features as it goes forward.
Now, it's all understood that if it does pass at 80, no more.
Yep.
Okay.
Questions, comments from council? Like to entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any further comments? Remember, this is for 80,000. Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder?
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper?
Aye.
Alderman Maroney?
Aye.
Alderman Douglas?
Aye.
Alderman Rozak?
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth?
Aye.
Alderman Ellis?
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg?
So congratulations. On behalf of the city, I just want a big thank you to Oconomowoc Rotary, to Lou Kavieski, and many people behind the scenes that have really worked to try to bring this to the city, including our past Craig Hepner, who is very much in favor of bringing this forward. So our expectations are, Eric, that you're going to do a spectacular job to make this a reality.
No pressure.
So thank you all. It's a fun thing to do that. And no, I don't like borrowing $6,615,000. There's no fun in that.
So there'll
But the
be a-
good thing is it doesn't
There'll
affect
be
our
a ribbon
levy.
cutting with you going through the splash pad?
No, I'll just be there smiling from the side.
Water wings on, it's gotta be water wings.
Ugly. That would be ugly. I think we better move on
I'll donate some
quickly.
extra money to see that.
Next item, consider act on the new school resource officer, SRO, 2024 agreement.
So earlier in the year, both the city and the Oconomowoc Area School District, we got together and it was mutually agreed that we should look at adding another, a second school resource officer. During the discussion, we also brought up the allocation of cost. Currently, with only the one, they were only at that time paying 50%. And then when we started talking the second one, they agreed to pay 75% of both positions. So it doesn't impact, our budget doesn't go up because of it. So we're paying the same amount of money, but we'll have 2 school resource officers. So we're recommending approval of the agreement that's in the packet.
Questions or comments from council?
I just want
Alderman
to say,
Altman
I
Cloth.
just want to say as a parent of kids in this district, this is very much needed, and I just really appreciate the work between the city and the school district and the PD to get this through. So I'll make a motion to approve the new 2024 SRO agreement with Oconomowoc Area School District.
Second.
Any further discussions or comments? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder?
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper?
Aye.
Alderman Maroney?
Aye.
Alderman Douglas?
Aye.
Alderman Rozak?
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth?
Aye.
Alderman Ellis?
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg?
Aye.
Just a little aside, I was actually at the high school this morning with Officer Haas, and we were doing a little PR of getting government jobs, and we actually talked about this new SRO, and they are so excited to have that, and she is really strapped thin on what her ability is to be able to really cover as we think is good for the community. So this additional officer, I think, is going to be huge. So thank you, guys. On to consider act on ordinance 23-01053 to create section 6.70 of the Oconomowoc Municipal Code regarding flag display. This is the first reading.
I will just open it, and then I'll turn it over to Alderman Shellpepper, who did all the work on it. This came before the Committee of the Whole. There was suggestion for two really minor changes, removing the word regularly and then noting that.
Point of order?
Oh.
Unfortunately, I don't see, did you get, oh, it's in the revised one.
It's in the revised one.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, my apologies.
It's in the, yeah, it's in the
Never got the
ordinance.
revised one.
It's in the ordinance itself, which
Oh,
is,
okay.
should be in your packet right after the background memo.
But it just was missing from the, okay.
Yeah, so, so it was revised to, as I said, remove the term regularly for the flown flags, and then also note that it would be on flagpoles. So I will turn this over to Alderman Shellpepper, who has done all of the work on this item.
I think it was in the.
Yeah, thanks, Mark, and thanks, Mayor, again, for letting me put this on the agenda today. I think it's an important topic. It has citywide, community-wide implications. As Mark noted, we discussed it 2 weeks ago at the Committee of the Whole. At that time, the Committee of the Whole recommended informally the council take up and pass the ordinance. This topic has been extensively discussed in the community over the last 2 years. Over the last week, there was an article also that ran on the front page of the Enterprise that detailed the specifics of the ordinance. I'm confident the community is aware, as much as it can be about the topic of discussion, and that there's been opportunities to weigh in on it over the last 2 years. As I said 2 weeks ago, the ordinance would codify the city's existing practice when it comes to the display of flags. So there would be nothing, I guess, in practice that would change it, but it would give this council and community overall the opportunity to weigh in on what the flag policy is. Just to recap what the specifics of the ordinance are, basically what would be allowed is the only flags that would be authorized to be flown or otherwise displayed on flagpoles on city-owned, leased, or otherwise controlled buildings of property would be the official flag of the United States of America, the official flag of the state of Wisconsin, the official flag of the city of Oconomowoc, the official flags of the United States Armed Forces, and the official National League of Families, POW/MIA flag. In addition to those flags, and in accordance with current practice and policy as adopted 2 years ago, the blue line and red line flags, which represent support for police officers and firefighters, will be authorized to be displayed on flagpoles at the city's public safety building and fire stations for the specific periods of time, which be National Police Week, National Firefighters Week, for 1 day in the event of any City of Oconomowoc Police or Western Lakes Fire District active duty or retired employee death, for 3 days in the event of any Wisconsin law enforcement, fire, or EMS line of duty death. And then there would be flag display standards associated with the blue and red line flags, because these are flags that are, we don't have specific specifications associated with, in order to make sure that we're providing as much deference to our national colors and state colors as possible. We're providing design standards associated with that flag. The blue line flag would consist of a single thin blue line running horizontally across the center of a black field, and the red flag line would consist of a single thin red line running horizontally across the center of a black field. Both flags have extensive precedent associated with history and honor for law enforcement. And like I said, it conforms with existing practice of our flag display policy. I don't believe anything that we're adopting in this ordinance runs contrary to any law that I'm aware of or any flag code that I'm aware of. As a military veteran, as a patriot, as someone who was raised by patriots, veterans as well, this ordinance it's important. It's a compromise. It was born out of necessity because of something that the community dealt with, and it's important that this community, through its elected body, weigh in on it through this vote. And so I'm asking for this council's support in passing the ordinance tonight.
Remember, it's set up as a first reading. You have the opportunity to waive the second reading. That's up to you. I'd like to entertain a motion.
Yep. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I'm Mayor.
Are we allowed to?
Go ahead.
Okay. Just first of all, again, thanks, Chaz, for this. And I said this at the last meeting, and I guess I'm just going to say it again. I will vote in favor of this, but I am against the part that kind of handicaps when the PD and the fire department fly their blue and red line flags. I think that that should be at the discretion of the chiefs. And that's just my 2 cents on it.
No, I totally respect that opinion. I guess in my view, something like this, again, that has community-wide implications that impacts all of us at the end of the day should be sanctioned by the elected body that represents the community of the whole, and that's why I don't support that position, because, and if we were gonna do that, I think it should be put into the ordinance, and that was what the ordinance would allow. I myself don't support that because it doesn't comply with what we've been doing for the last 2 years that has worked. Not to mention, I'm a strong believer in that the American flag, you know, the state of Wisconsin flag, like, those flags are good enough, but we're gonna do something more to honor people who deserve to be honored. And
I
that's what we're
agree.
gonna do
No,
in
and I
this
agree, yeah.
community, and that's important that we do that, and that's why I ask you to support this ordinance.
I mean, the American flag and the Wisconsin flag take
Yeah.
priority, but.
So,
Jazz, would you like to make a
yeah,
motion?
absolutely. I'd like to make the motion to approve ordinance 23-01053, and I'd ask that we waive the second reading, considering we've had this discussion and we've covered this extensively.
Second, Ellis.
Any further comments or questions? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder.
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper.
Aye.
Alderman Maroney.
Aye.
Alderman Douglas.
Aye.
Alderman Rozak.
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth.
Aye.
Alderman Ellis.
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg.
Aye.
Nicely done, Alderman Shellpepper. Let's move on to consider act of the Norton Ridge Developers Agreement. Mr. Herzog.
All right, thanks again. Bringing forward the developers agreement that we've worked with for the project on inside of the Olympia Hills development and this apartment complex, Norton Range. This project is included in as an agreement with the city for the public infrastructure of our water main only, the sanitary, the storm. The streets that are inside the project are all private, so this developers agreement will be just with their water main.
Questions, comments for Mr. Herzog? I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call roll, please.
Alderman Mulder.
Aye.
Alderman Shell Pepper.
Aye.
Alderman Maroney.
Aye.
Alderman Douglas.
Aye.
Alderman Rozak.
Aye.
Alderman Altman Cloth.
Aye.
Alderman Ellis.
Aye.
Alderman Spiegelberg.
Aye.
Next up, consider act on the direction for TID number 8, public-private partnership with Rockwell Partners on North Main Street redevelopment. For the community, the council has met in closed session as this is a negotiation prior to the council meeting tonight, and we have a statement. The council has a statement for the Rockwell Development LLC folks. Alderman Rozak.
Yeah, out of the closed session, I'm authorized to just make this statement. There will be no vote on this tonight. The council has directed staff and the mayor to continue negotiations on the project and the TIF structure as debated so far and as presented, and we'd ask them to continue to do that, so at least at this point, there will be no vote.
Thank you. On to our next item, staff reports. We have some fun things for everybody from our finance director.
Oh, boy.
Ice cream.
So you are going to be receiving your utility budget workbooks for our budget workshop meeting next week.
Oh, that's Rozak, anyway.
I got mine.
They had names on them.
Oh.
This is Douglas. This is
I got
Douglas.
I got Karen's.
Oh, we got names on these.
Yeah.
They're all different.
And
I just took
Exactly.
I know your eyes are
Oh, no, don't even start.
I'm just saying I know.
considering your age.
Okay, I'm looking at your glasses over
Well,
there.
I have mine.
Comments, questions with
I
regard
got
to
just
the
something
book?
for you real quick in the beginning of the book, at the
In the
very
beginning.
front of the book. There's a memo that just kind of does the overview of the budgets for you. The second memo will be regarding the sanitary sewer rates. And then the next in the front of the book is similar to we do with the general fund. There is spreadsheets here for each utility, color-coded, that will give you the line items, highlight the ones that are 5% or $5,000, you know, over, under. And also, that second column gives you the page number that the line items are on. So bring your books next week. We'll go over these in detail next week at 6 o'clock.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Any other staff reports? Mr. Fry, any other staff reports? No? Okay. Comments are from Alderman. Alderman Altman Cloth.
I have a question. I mean, I guess a comment, maybe question. I don't know. Stan can yell at me if I'm out of Alderman comment territory. But last week, we talked about just kind of a breakdown of how Bob Duffy is spending his time, whether it's, you know, tourism or economic development. Is it possible to get a breakdown of what our current marketing intern has done? Like, how much work has she actually done for Duffy in that department? Because when I looked at some of the things that she's done, it seems like she may be working a little bit more heavy on a different department. And if we can just kind of get a breakdown of what she's doing and how much she is actually working for Bob Duffy, that is.
So I'll have
Yes, that was a
Mr. Duffy and Mark look into that for you
All right, thank you.
and report back. Other comments from Alderman? With no other comments, Lou, do you have a comment? Okay, just checking. I just
Nope in the
love
minutes?
their, I just have one comment for the group. On your desk, you have a little flyer about the Senior Resource Center. I wanted to make sure all the council's aware of that. That is going to be held this Friday at Journey 21. They've offered their facility to the community, and it's a place for seniors to go to learn about public safety, to learn about insurance, a lot of different resources. So if you have a chance, please stop by. Any other comments? I have nothing else. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Altman Cloth.
Second.